speak moron as well as you, but let me try.
What the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
It's a moron. That's not against the law.
Gun! You fucking moron!
Stuff like Batman.
Because he is Batman, you moron.
What are you, a fucking moron?
You moron. Drop dead. Moron.
Whoa!
Up here, you morons.
Stepping morons like yourself.
Me down, you moron! Hey, moron!
Aye, a bit of a fucking dick sometimes. Eh?
A moron is what we'd like to call you. Stay on brand, Daniel. Stay on brand.
I don't say my R's very well, so it was silly that we called this morons.
Well, it was a better option than what we were going to call it.
Yeah.
Morons will ruin movies.
Morons ruining movies. Could be a shout. Well, on that note, let's go in and ruin another movie. I'm sure this will be an interesting talking point there. But welcome into another week of Morons Review Movies. This week is finally the last of the letter B, thankfully. We are going to be talking about Black Swan. So a committed dancer struggles to maintain her sanity after winning the leading role in a production of Swan Lake. Hunter, you were asked to talk last time, so I'm going to come straight to you first this time. Talk to us about your thoughts and feelings on Natalie Portman and Mila Kunis, and then we'll talk about the movie.
In the words of Jose Mourinho, I dare not to speak, for I will be in big trouble. But that aside, I really enjoyed this film. I'd watched it years ago when it first came out, and I think because of the subject matter at the time when I first watched it, I was like, oh, fucking film about ballet, I'm not going to enjoy this. So I kind of maybe let that block my mind, because in my mind I was thinking, no, this isn't as good as what it has been on a second watch for me, but I really enjoyed it. I thought Natalie Portman was great. I mean, that sort of downward spiral and that sort of, she goes and becomes more and more insane. It's just well acted throughout. I mean, if you have to maybe sort of nutshell this in a sort of layman's terms, is it like a fight club for women, essentially? That's it. That whole psychological, her good side and her bad side sort of wrestling against each other throughout the film. Again, it's sort of intense. I mean, at the times you're just like, is that happening? As you're kind of left guessing until that sort of final fight scene. But even then, at the end, when that's Mila Kunis's face, it's there. You're still left wondering, is it her? Is she just? You're still kind of wondering what's going on there. But and then I think you've kind of maybe guessed it at that point, but there is still that one seed of doubt. And obviously, it's when you see her, she pulls the glass out of her and she still goes on stage and again absolutely nails that performance. Again, I'm not a ballet critique, but I'm pretty sure if there's any out there that want to come and judge her performance in this, it looked impressive from what I've seen and what I've understood of ballet. It looked quite impressive anyway.
I think I want to know more about what you understand of ballet, Hunter. I think we should stay on this point.
I know the song from the Nutcracker, and that's about it.
Give us. I don't know it. Can you let us hear it?
I don't know it to hum it or to sing it or to ding-a-ling to it, but if I hear it, I go, oh, that's the song from the Nutcracker.
We do seem like 5 ballet experts, eh?
Yes.
Burnsy, let's come to you. You probably know more about ballet than anybody here.
I'm confident to say Hunter knows more than what even I do about ballet, so he's doing well for himself. I was like, I thought the start of the film was kind of a bit meh. It was just didn't get me in. It didn't get me invested in the film. So I think I was like 15 minutes in. After that bit of drabness, I don't know if that's a word, but I'll go with it. As I was completely sold on it and I loved it. I think, as Hunter says, is Natalie Portman's character was terrific. She acted it really well. Felt like I was on a journey with her, and just wanted to see more of that vulnerable side and all the other sides that showed throughout it in terms of her hallucinations, etc., and her relationship with Mila Kunis. Is I think as well that what the film did a really good way of how, as some films you would watch and maybe they would give you the overall picture and you would know what was going on, like so you would see what was real, what wasn't real. Whereas because there was so much suspense, that worked perfectly for me, because then there's some films that you'd watch and you kind of be like zoning in and out, but it was one that you had to sort of concentrate on, but it wasn't one that I struggled with concentrating because I was just so into it basically. I thought the director came across as like a massive creep as well in the film,
Mhm.
and
Absolutely.
and I was like, I couldn't stand him, but not because if I somebody say I couldn't stand an actor or an actress, it's because I thought they were shit. But he was bringing out the hate for me because he was good at his job. It wasn't like, I'm not going to say anything bad about him. It was more just obviously the way it was written, so it was written perfectly for that point of view as well. I think as well when Natalie Portman's character starts getting the scratches, as at first I was like a little bit lost and confused because I didn't really understand what was going on. I don't know if all you picked up what was going to happen next, or whether that was just you were of the same opinion as me, but that helped my enjoyment too.
I think I think it purposefully takes a while for you to figure out what's going on. Like I think that's done on purpose. Like they give you little bits as you go, and then even to the point where she pulls the feather out, that's when it makes it like totally obvious what's going on. But until then, it's kind of is she actually scratching herself? Is she fucking doing all this weird shit? Is there some demon in her head that's fucking scratching her? I don't know. It was fucking confusing. Like,
and our relationship with my mother was really, there wasn't too much of it, but there was just enough to give you like an insight into all parts of her life, really. And as Hunter said, it's like the ending, like it was like a crescendo at the end, and like it was something you knew this was the end of the film, and they did that perfectly as well. Whereas there's some films that we've said before, where you get to the end and it's just a bit, oh, is that it? Whereas I thought the ending was perfect, and it obviously leads you still with that idea. You think you know what's happened, but then also you don't know, does she survive? Does she not? Is she imagining it? Is she not? There's like more questions than answers, but I like that part of it. So I don't think I've got anything apart from, as I say, the first 10-15 minutes. Apart from that, I thought it was perfect.
So
just to come back on.
I was going to say, you got into a Burnsy right about the time of the first masturbation scene then?
Not at all.
What? Burnsies or Natalie Portman's?
I'm sure he thought it at that point, so.
Aye, when Bunsey just said that it's like, go home and touch yourself, it was like that hand sliding down.
Did you take your hand away and stop when you realised the mum was there as well? Just like,
For fuck's sake. Well, just to talk a little bit about something that I read earlier, on the relationship between her and her mum. So there's a bit of a Black Swan fan theory about the relationship between Nina and her mum, and it's about how it suggests that her mum sexually molests her.
Yeah, I can see that.
So the hints being that she obviously sees her mum during her sex dream that she's having with Mila Kunis's character, and her mum, and when Mila Kunis's character says to her, "My sweet girl," is what her mum says to her. And there's different areas where her mum tells her to take her clothes off, and one point she's changing, her mum's staring at her and winking at her and stuff. There's just a big suggestion that she's been abused for many years off her own mum.
And then as well, when she gets in, and obviously she runs to her room and wants to like not let her in the room and all that kind of stuff, obviously as if she's worried about what's. I never crossed her mind watching it, but now you mention it, then it's sort of, I guess it is hinted at, but they don't want to go down. They maybe don't want to go down the route too much so that it becomes Back to the Future.
It's quite an interesting theory, because if you think how messed up Natalie Portman's character is in the movie, to think what has happened to her, and then how easily she lets, or how quickly that Vincent Cassel's character like becomes overpowering for her and tries to take advantage of her, and he uses his position, and she was very submissive towards him because she's had this goal and this aim, and her mum being a ballet dancer would be pushing her down this route as well. For me, it's a proper eye-opening movie of you seeing how far these ballet dancers go to get to that goal, how they all hate each other secretly. When you age out at a certain point, as Winona Ryder's character does, and the torment that they put their bodies through. Like, there's so many bits in this where my toes curl. Like when you see her nail split in her foot, I'm sure Sean will have comments to say about that. But the one big bit for me is when she's picking at the skin at her nail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that degloving
she
thing.
pulls the skin.
I was at a first aid course a couple of weeks ago, and like that whole process is actually called degloving. And it just the thought of it is just. You get shown pictures like on this thing, and it's like, so see folk maybe they're working or something, and like their wedding ring or a ring will get caught or something, and they've got to pull it off, and then it just like takes all the skin off the finger, and just all you see is flesh underneath. Oh, it's disgusting.
So those scenes are the ones that made me fucking grimace the most watching it. Like, it was tough seeing the bits where she's. I hate picking at nails. If someone like touches my nails or picks at my finger, it freaks me out. So that watching that on the screen was difficult for me. Sean, had you ever seen this movie before?
Sean's disappeared.
He just left us.
He's on mute as well, so I don't know if he is there.
He's watching the masturbation scene again.
Oh, the web.
I'm here. I was just talking to myself there. This was the first time I'd watched this, and will definitely be the last. I couldn't really get into this at all. Probably my fault, because of the subject matter. I'm not into ballet, not into feet. A lot of feet scenes here. I don't know. I just really struggled with it. I watched it in a bad mood as well, which didn't really. I probably shouldn't have. You know, like,
the circumstances not cheer you up, Sean.
What?
The circumstances not cheer you up, though.
Did what not cheer me up?
Did certain scenes not cheer you up?
Certain scenes.
Yes.
Well, I found the sex scene with Mila Kunis really. It did feel like a porno, and even the scene where she's in the bedroom after we'll call him the head teacher, whatever he is, tells her to go home and touch herself. Like when she rolled on her front, I was like, "Fucking hell!" Like it was a bit. This sounds ridiculous. It was a bit graphic and a bit just like trying too much to like kind of shock you a wee bit. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it at all. Like, I mean, I understand that like Natalie Portman was amazing. I believe she won. Oh, I'm not ruining any of your trivia or that. So I believe she was a. It's the word I'll use here. She was praised very, very, very highly. The highest level of praise that you could get.
Let's say she won an Oscar.
She won an Oscar.
Every sort of award ceremony that she was nominated for, it's called a clean sweep. She basically won the best actress and everything she was put up for because of this film.
Like I can appreciate all of that, but like when it gets to like, and I've said this many times before, like hallucinations and all of that kind of stuff, not knowing what's real and what isn't, I just switch off with it all the time. And I've been quite consistent with that viewpoint on any film that we've watched where this isn't that bad, but obviously the hallucinations, it's no like trippy or anything like that. You just don't necessarily know if that thing's happened in that moment or not. Like where she stabs Mila Kunis with the broken mirror. Or glass, whatever it was. But like I just totally switch off all the time. So with the fact that it was a film about ballerina, with the fact that there was these mad hallucinations in it, and that's just the two things that I've got no interest in at all, and I just switched off. Plus, I was in an absolute fucking ragery mood when I watched it, so not really in the best mind frame to watch it. I just want to get it done. I kept kind of seeing how long was left and all that. No for me, but I can appreciate obviously certain aspects in terms of like acting performances and all that, but no, I'll definitely not be going back to watch this, and it's just it's more my fault than anything else. That's just the way it is. I'll go and watch Bob McEnroe again.
Tell us about why you were in such a bad mood, Sean. I'm very interested.
I was just in a bad mood, just in bad moods and that.
Oh.
This movie's one that usually causes ragers. Never mind folk going in to watch it.
A different kind of rager for you by the sound of it.
Have to go for
unless that's what you were getting at. It's as if you've never seen a sex scene before, Kyle, the way you're going on here.
I haven't. Good Christian man.
Well, aye. So just to, no for me.
No for you. Well, listen, I do see this as a bit of a horror movie anyway, so it writes you out from a start, Sean.
Actually, just I'm going to kind of go on a bit of a tangent here. I watched Laurie's been begging me to watch a film. Mind when I said that we were going to the pictures at like 10 at night to see a film called Barbarian.
You're looking forward to that as well with the timing.
I was buzzing for it, so I managed to get out of it, right? So we never went. I was like, "You look tired." She's like, "Yeah."
What a charmer.
Anyway, so she was telling my mum and dad about it because we went to see them before we were going to go to the cinema. And then, like, about a week later, my dad texts me and says, "Tell Laurie that film Barbarian's on Disney." So I tell her, and she was like, "Oh yes," she was really wanting to watch it. So I said, "I'll watch it with you if you want." Then obviously, like, I fucking hate horrors anyway, but it was more just so that she wouldn't watch it in that moment in time with me. So anyway, she eventually got me to watch it last week. And I would watch this. I would watch Barbarian every day of the week over Black Swan, and I hate horrors. But
Wow.
I think I hate Ballerina more.
That Barbarian I was actually recommended recently as one of the scariest films somebody'd ever watched.
No, but you should definitely watch it. It's pretty interesting, but I would not say it's one of the scariest films ever. I wasn't like necessarily scared by it, and I'm a massive shite bag, but it was actually pretty decent, if I'm honest. No, don't read anything about it. Just go and watch it. I know that some people would read about it, some people won't, but it was pretty decent.
I'll do that. I want to watch it now. You've sold it to me.
Watch that tonight. I'll add that to my unseen list for the next season of Morons Reviewing Movies.
Yes.
You could
make you go through it again, Sean.
I'd watch it again. Well, probably, I don't know, I've already seen it, so I might just say that I watched it and then just do what you do and then just give the review and that on it.
I've never watched any of the movies that we've done for months, mate.
He's just on Rotten Tomatoes, paraphrasing other folks' reviews.
I've got IMDb's reviews loaded up at the side of me, and I just read word for word that somebody else has said.
Sorry to take it off track, guys, but just wanted to bring that up. But on you go, Black Swan, no for me.
Daniel?
First of all, I like when you go off track, Sean. That's my favourite, so don't apologise. So I went to see this at the cinema when it first came out, and I loved it. And I've never watched it since. So I was worried because we've got a track record in this show of me thinking I like films, and then I watched them and I realised, I fucking hate that film. But this time I was happy because it's still fucking awesome. It's just, I get what Sean's saying, like the subject matter, a movie about a ballerina who's having psychotic breakdowns and hallucinations and that. I know it's not for you. I knew that you would fucking hate it, and that's fine. And I know this isn't for everyone, but I think it's the same director as The Wrestler, which got mentioned in the last episode as well. And I'm sure I read years ago somewhere that they're meant to be watched back to back. So he made, I don't know if this is in your trivia, Hunter, so I do apologise.
No, I did the first I've heard.
So I read a thing where these are meant to be like companion pieces because they're portraying very, very similar things. Mm-hmm. It's about the pressure of being at the very, very top of your profession, much like for McIndoe.
So that, not just something what you're saying, but the whole ending of the falling after cutting yourself with the glass, right? That totally mirrors that as well.
It does, yeah.
There is actually a bit in the IMDb trivia that talks about this. So Hunter, we'll have to have a discussion about your performance of finding trivia.
Just 5 minutes before we went live, that's what I was doing.
In your upcoming review, but I'll quickly read this, Daniel, and you can follow on from there. But it says that Aronofsky originally envisioned telling the story as part of the plot of The Wrestler, and was actually developing a project that was about a love affair between a ballet dancer and a wrestler, but he realised pretty quickly that taking two worlds like wrestling and ballet was too much for one movie.
Makes sense. So I think, there's lots of very, very similar things, like the end scene essentially where they fall from a height, they throw themselves from a height essentially, and then you're left ambiguous. I mean, I think we can agree that they die both.
Yeah,
and but it's left in that sort of way where it's you're never 100%. But there's just loads and loads of things I love about this film. You've mentioned quite a lot of things, but the relationship with the mother's good. The actors that plays the mother's excellent. Like she's obviously a failed fucking dancer herself, and she's lived her whole life vicariously through her daughter. And we start this just at the point where her daughter's become too successful for her. So you're seeing her sort of lose the plot at the same time, like the mother. She got all these pictures of herself and like just sits in the house all day and paints herself. Fucking mental. But yeah, I think the contrast with Mila Kunis' character was cool. I think, again, I like to wait and see whatever you come up with. But there's times, obviously, in this film where, to me, you're questioning whether they're the same person or not. And I'm still at the end, I'm quite unsure because the way the sleazy, I like that you called him the headmaster, Sean, the sleazy headmaster. The way that there's clear points where he's talking to one and talking to the other, and like she arrives late and all that sort of stuff. So is it that she didn't arrive late and she was already there? And all that stuff still leaves a question. It makes me, I could go and watch this again and try and pick out more things to try and put it together myself.
I mean, that's what I was saying. It's kind of like Fight Club, where obviously there's the scene in Fight Club where he sees himself having sex, and it's kind of that scene where you see Mila Kunis' character having sex with the teacher. That it's kind of like that. It mirrors it. Maybe she was late, but in her mind, her black swan alter ego was trying to be one step ahead and better and take the role for her. So she would have been there on time for that practice. So that maybe also is it the same person, or is it just her alter ego or schizophrenic personality, whatever it is?
The bit that makes me think they are different people is when she has a conversation in the stairwell where she finds out that she's the understudy, and she's like, no, it can't be her, it can't be her. And like that's the only bit that wouldn't make sense in any way. But I think
you had to see it in the bar where she's with the two guys and her, but then she goes back to her mum later and says that she fucked two guys.
Yeah.
So you could hint that she's not even there. Yeah.
Aye, and because Mila Kunis obviously fucked at least one of the guys. So so there's all these wee things that's one
Bucky
of my
Barnes.
Bucky Barnes. I know that was funny. I was going to mention that as well. He was pretty poor in this, wasn't he? He was about the only letdown acting wise. He was fucking awful and wouldn't his whole wee bit. But aye, he didn't add anything to the film. It was weird. What kind of drug was it that were meant to be taken? Did they mention actually?
I don't know. It's not in the trivia.
Not in the trivia. But it was weird, the whole devil on the shoulder spike in the drink. But she knew about it and she'd done it anyway. And then she was like, you spiked my drink. And she's like, aye, I did. It was all just like really well done. Nothing that felt. It was so outlandish, but it just felt like everything was actually happening. And like when the scene where she's getting measured up and she's seeing the changes in the different person in the mirror, or when she's doing the dance herself, and they do it so well. It's not just a case of like in a lot of horror films you get this where you look in the mirror and suddenly the camera, the one in the mirror just turns really suddenly. Don't do that. It's so subtle that they're both starting to turn, but then one just keeps going and the other one stops. And right at the very, very start, you see her on the train going into the first practice day. And there's that woman that's just like acting just like her, but just ahead of her. And they get off early, and then obviously it's Mila Kunis, but you're seeing it as her face. Because that's what they've sort of done. They've made it look like her face in that scene.
Yeah.
No one reacts to Mila Kunis when she arrives. Like she comes in and she's like, oh, I got off at a stop too early, and she's making this big fuss and nobody speaks to her. And so I don't know. There's loads of interesting things. But
the scene where she's being presented to everybody in that big ballroom, and then Mila Kunis' character laughs, but it's only really Natalie Portman, because that must be what she thinks people are thinking.
Yeah.
Like, here's this new start. Her, no chance. And that's what, to me, that seems like that could be the same person.
Aye. I don't know if it's ever answered, but there's something about this. It looks amazing. It's just shot really well. It keeps me in. It kept me interested the whole way through it. The actual ballet dance I couldn't give a fuck about. It was just everything round about it. We mentioned the headmaster, but he's played so well. He's a horrible, sleazy bastard that takes advantage of everybody. And he just controls everything round about him. It is weird because those people do exist. Like, you must be the level of confidence with these types of guys that have got this control over so many people. and they're always really unlikable, horrible cunts. But they're seen as geniuses, these types of folk. And the one thing I find weird is, when we're talking about not liking ballet, they go through so much like pain and all that to be like go on their toes. Right? Surely it's no like just they don't have to do that, but to be good.
Okay, on that,
Like, you know what I mean? I don't get it.
It's in the trivia, but you see the scene where that bit where she's like ripping the shoe apart and then like restitching it and then like using glass to get grip. Apparently, that is common practice.
Aye, I would imagine it's very accurate. I think being a ballet dancer is it's one of the hardest things in the whole world. I don't know what the background is because Mila Kunis is Russian originally, isn't she? And she moved to America.
Albanian, I think that's sort of Balkan region anyway.
Right. So I don't know if she has a ballet background.
No, she basically had done nothing and basically just lent it for the role.
Fair enough. But I feel like I'm just going to keep saying good things about this. But every single thing about it, every little tangent works well. It looks really good. It ends really well. Natalie Portman's awesome in it. I think she's good in this. I don't actually think Natalie Portman's great in anything else, but she's almost playing herself here, like a weird, disinterested little. She has the same expression all the time, but the character makes sense with it. You know what I mean? I think this is just like a perfect part for her. It's almost like it was cast perfectly for her. And I think that's where she managed to fucking win all the Oscars or whatever she won. But I love it. Great movie.
What did you think in the scene where in the hospital with Winona Ryder's character and stabbed in the face? Do you think that Natalie Portman's character done that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why she's ultimately killed herself for the last performance.
Because she's ready to turn the stolen things and sliced her up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Stabbed her viciously in the face. That was quite hard to. There's loads of hard to watch scenes in this, but that was pretty fucking hard.
Sean, how did you fare with the scene where she's unveiling her big toe being all split?
Well, I can actually relate to this because obviously I had an ingrown toenail and lost a toenail myself from a big toe. The way that I'm only joking. Well, that's actually. I just looked away. If there was anything to do with feet, on the close-ups with their feet when they're standing on their toes, even though they had the ballet shoes on, I just find that just disgusting. It's vile. But ballet dancers just and I know it needs to be like their bodies and all that. They just look. It's just skin and bone. It's vile. Sorry to any ballet dancers out there.
It's such a commitment, though, isn't it? They obviously have to.
Of course.
Have themselves looking a certain way, but like Daniel said earlier, it'd been one of the hardest things to do. I couldn't imagine the pressure they have to put in their bodies to go through this to be, which ultimately most of them are backing dancers.
Yeah,
it doesn't really seem worth it, does it?
That was my point earlier. Yeah, it doesn't seem worth
it.
That
my thought was going through it as well. I mean, you look at maybe like an elite person in many sports or many other sort of industries or whatever. To be an elite ballet dancer, like as you said, you're just going to be. If even someone who's very, very, very good might only ever be like an understudy or basically like what do you call it, like a minor character, just like a backup dancer. And you've got, I mean, what is the money involved in it? Is it worth?
Just googling that just now. It says ballet dancers. The average salary for a ballet dancer falls between 14,500 to 36,500, with the top elite earning up to 250.
That's not worth it.
No, that's what I mean. It's. And then, as you see, you've got such a short window. You're washed up by your mid-20s.
I guess the thing is, though, when you're doing it, you're doing something that you absolutely love. Whereas we've all got jobs in that, but it's not as if the job that we're doing is not something that would be like desperate to do like every single day, do more hours, do more training, all that kind of stuff. So if you're obviously doing it, it's because it's like it's what you want to do with your life. So obviously, although you're not getting the same money as other people do, then
in the UK, the entry level positions for ballet dancers is 22.5, and the most experienced will make up to 58,208. The average salary is £13 an hour.
Basically, you get more money working Aldi than you do breaking your toes every day.
To Burnsley's point as well, though, like, you're putting yourself through that every day for something that you love, like, but I think this movie makes a point that's probably makes a big percentage of ballet dancers is probably forced into it at a very young age.
Yeah, it's true.
Of indoctrination, I think, in like these sort of things. Like this one here, this woman was living her mum's failed dream, which was probably her mum's fucking forced her into it when she was a kid. And
it's interesting because the mum has hatred for her for being successful as well.
Aye, her mum wanted her to get to a certain level and then stop.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you were saying there, just made me kind of laugh a bit when you said about like how like these people are like more or less forced into it at a young age. Like Laurie's niece has been going to dance classes. Like she's only 4, so it's just like a kind of kid singing that. Right, but like when she watches Disney films and all, like, she wants to be like a ballerina dancer or whatever, right? So like they've been, like a mum and dad have been spending like so much for her to go to these classes, right? But like you can't go and sit in and watch them, so you just drop them off and then you leave basically. So like she's been doing it for about like a year or something, and we were around at their house about 2 months ago or something, and she goes, right, go and show some of your dance moves that you learned. She just starts crawling along the flare, doing this like awkward crab thing, and they're like, and Laurie's brother-in-law like, I've paid fucking hundreds of quid for it to just crawl. She's like, what the fuck are they doing with them in there? Because you're not allowed to sit in and watch it, so they're basically just drop them off and then they dance, and that you're just chucking money at these folk. Oh, it was funny.
It's no cheap.
So, on that same note, right? When Amelia, my daughter, was young, she was like 3 or 4, same sort of age, right? Same thing, ballet dancing, because the cartoons do it. It was what she wanted to do, right? And it was the same thing. You had to drop them off and leave them and come back. But then there was one day the parents got to go and watch what they'd been doing for the last year. And this makes sense what you're saying, Sean, because what they'd been doing was the teacher would name an animal and they would walk like that animal. And that was the whole thing. That was the whole thing.
Oh no!
It was man. Don't be a ballet dancer, be like a teacher for small children. Like how much money you make just to make them walk around like a duck.
Oh, it was like stomp your feet like an elephant, and they would just stomp about, and it would be like move about like a monkey, and they would go about. It was fuck it. That was it. 10 minutes.
Let's do that in the house. Like fuck all.
Watch YouTube.
Honest to God, that's a.
She never went back.
Well, guys, let's get some trivia from Hunter. 5 minutes before we started, he looked into the trivia. I think we've all had our thoughts and feelings in there on this movie, and I thought we'd have spent a lot more discussing one particular scene, but we'll do that for the Patreon.
Right, so what I've got is so Natalie Portman actually, but what I've read was she'd actually began training like a month before this film would even got given the green light. It was even paying for it out of her own pocket because she was that confident that the film would actually get picked up and made. So that was her dedication to the role. And although the film was never marketed as such, Darren Aronofsky has always maintained that this film was meant to be a psychological horror film, which again, I can imagine that's obviously added to Sean's disdain for it. The script actually took about 10 years to make it to the screen, and it is actually one of 7 horror films to be nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture. The other ones are The Exorcist, Jaws, Silence of the Lambs, Sixth Sense, Get Out, and Parasite. And I think we've watched pretty much all of them apart from Sixth Sense.
Parasite was not a horror film.
What's maybe?
Oh, like murder in it.
Oh,
I suppose, but.
And you've got the guy living in the wee cellar, but that was quite scary, that bit, to some people, maybe.
I suppose.
And in the year it actually won, so it was 2011, can you guess what actually won the best Oscar picture that year?
I won't say a word.
There you go, Kyle.
I say I won't say a word, I've seen it.
Oh.
What was nominated? Give us some nominations.
If I tell you the nominations, you'll know what it is because it will stand out.
Is it a fucking Dallas Buyers Club?
No.
Is it that one where had the wee dog in it that was like a silent film?
No, it wasn't. But I'll give you a clue. It's something that's going to happen again this year, and this film was based on the last time it happened.
Avatar.
No, although that was nominated, I think.
Something's going to happen this year.
something that's going to happen this year, and it's not
Yeah.
happened since.
Oh,
No.
is that about COVID? No.
No,
Some of the
since
other movies that were nominated for that year were 127 Hours, Inception, Toy Story 3, The Fighter, Social Network, True Grit, Winter's Bone, The Kids Are Alright.
Oh, none of them won.
That was a movie starring Colin Firth.
Oh, The King's Speech.
yes.
We'd have been here for hours.
Absolute shite. You go on
Any
then.
more,
No,
trivia
that's
from
me.
her?
I'm all done now.
That's not enough trivia. We'll be adding that to your upcoming review as well.
Well, we changed it and then it comes back. So basically, you're saying it was my head's on the block here.
Well, we'll be phoning Jerry and Dave to see if they want to make a comeback. Right, let's get to scoring this one. Then we're again same as last week. We're going to come to Sean first. Sean, set the tone.
As I said, it wasn't for me. I didn't particularly enjoy it, but I can appreciate it. I'm just going to give it I don't know, 2.
Sure about that?
Is that a question or?
Do I want us to come back to you once everyone else has win?
No, it's fine because then it'll obviously affect my scoring. I'll just go for a. This is the hardest. I'll go for a 2.
That's the most you've ever cared about a score.
I think you can appreciate what we're saying.
Comments. No, I can appreciate it, but also like these wee fucking all the ballerinas will come from their Instagram with their who's that boy scoring it to a 0.5? Does he not know the dedication and pain we go through? Fuck up.
Is that your comments voice?
That's just what they all sound like.
Oh, amazing. Hunter, top that.
4.25 for me.
4.25 from Hunter. Daniel?
4.75 for me.
4.75. Burnsy?
The same, another 4.75.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to also give it a 4.75. I thought this was incredible.
Oh, well, it's not going to be up there. Sean's score's too low. Oh.
I believe this was picked by me. Got a bit of
This is a comfortable second in the best of the bees.
I've got.
Well, let's not be first in best of the bees.
Surely.
We really should have been prepared for this being the last of the bees, where all the scores of the bees, shouldn't we? Let me go back and look. What's the overall score then, Birdsey?
Overall, it's a 4.1.
A 4.1. Can we think of any movies that we've had that have been anywhere near that from the letter B?
Big Shot. That was what I was thinking.
Oh yeah,
So Big Lebowski quite high, no?
Well, so the Big Shot episode hasn't actually gone out yet, as we the Instagram yet. So what was the score for Big Shot?
So it'll at least be out by the time that this comes out. So it's not a spoiler alert.
No, there's no spoiler because this comes out much later.
Well, I can tell you that Blood Diamond got a 2.75, The Business got a 2.95, Batman Begins got a 2.95, Bad Teacher got a 1.1, The Butterfly Effect got a whopping 0.6, Blade got unfairly given a 1.7, and The Big Lebowski got a 3.4. And I have no idea what The Big Short got, so you'll need to wait to see that on Instagram when Daniel gets it.
It'll be in our chat, maybe. No.
I've got it. The Big Shot got a 3.8.
Oh,
so it's the best.
A 3.8. Well, Borg McEnroe got a 1.7, and Black Swan coming at the top of the bees at 4.1.
That's fair. I'm happy.
Fair. I think that's very fair. So what is it? So I think we've nailed that.
That was very good. And if we were to put this on the leaderboard, we've not been updating the leaderboard with these ones as of yet, but a 4.1 would bring this in just below The Wrestler, funnily enough.
Oh.
Just below The Wrestler, and it'd be on par with Misery, Moneyball, and The Batman and White Men Can't Jump.
I think that's good company for it. I'm very pleased with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I didn't display my shock enough with how much Bonzi enjoyed this. Like, I'm shocked by that. Like, pleasantly shocked.
I didn't think I was going to like it, to be honest, but because I actually watched Borg v Mackerel first because I thought that I'll enjoy that one more. How wrong I was.
This ticks Bonzi's boxes, though. You could class it as a sport. There's some horror in there. There's a little love triangle kicking about.
Yeah.
Throwing a pregnancy in
I love
Bonzi,
line if it's all the one same person.
Listen, we've all got partners with multiple personalities.
Again, if I speak, I am in big trouble.
I do believe that's a direct quote from you in a previous episode, Hunter, just to throw that shade at you so it doesn't sit on me.
Aye, and then the last time it got brought up, I was assaulted whilst driving and nearly crashed the car.
Oh, Laura, or whichever personality we're talking to when you're listening to this one, we hope you're well. But that does bring us to the end of this episode, and it brings us to the end of the season of the letter B's. Please keep an eye on Instagram, which is going to be coming up some new movies that we have not seen and a bunch of movies that we have seen. The morons are going to go back to the very basics of when we first started doing this, where we would select a movie that we enjoy versus a movie that we've not seen, and we review it that way. This is where we unearthed some classical, amazing movies like Capone. That was a Hunter added that in as an unseen, which hasn't been talked about that much. We've never reviewed that for any of the podcast, but let's hope we don't unearth another one of them. Tempted to take these away from Hunter because he went true crimes or dark crimes, whatever it's called, and Capone as his unseens.
Calm down, Kyle. You picked one good movie, right? You're usually shite as well.
I'm just looking forward to selecting Avatar 1 as my scene and Avatar 2 as my unseen.
Oh.
And I'm looking forward to telling you to get to fuck.
I'm looking forward to using my veto there.
Yeah, well,
we've all got vetoes we can use.
Good point. They will allow one veto each for this.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just save it up for when it's Kyle's turn then.
5 vetoes. He'll be saving his up.
You do wrong. I'm going to dish out all the Mega Shark stuff first. All your vetoes are gone. Then we're going to throw Avatar to him.
We might just double bluff you and let you have Mega Shark. I would have a Mega Shark film over Avatar 2.
So would I.
Glad to know you're on board with Mega Shark versus Crocodile or Crocosaurus.
Yes.
Very underrated film.
Yes.
On board.
Well, listen, thank you very much for staying here to the end. Us morons will bid you farewell.
Happy New Year.
Sorry you don't speak moron as well as you, but let me try.
What the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
It's a moron. That's not against the law.
Gun, you fucking moron.
Dressed up like Batman.
Because he is Batman, you moron.
What are you, a fucking moron?
You moron. Drop dead. Moron.
Whoa!
Up here, you morons.
Stepping morons like yourself.
Me down, you moron! Hey, moron!
Bid you farewell and good luck, morons. Bye.